Yeah, so I got to Wasco reception, I remember in 2008, and I ran into Ghost, a white boy from Project Crip in Bakersfield. And so we was all right there together. So they was lacing me. They were a little older. They were lacing me too, like about the trials and tribulations it was probably gonna come with being a rare breed. I remember the Woods stabbed Ghost when he was in the shower because the police did some janky stuff and popped the doors on and let some Woods out while Ghost was in the shower and the Woods ran down there with some knives and Ghost held it down though he defended and handled his business. Off top, just the notorious one, Takeoff from Liggett Street Gangsta Bloods, the infamous A600 block. You already know, Panorama Biddy to be exact, tapping in.
Neighborhood is shaken after two men were shot and killed in front of a Denny's.
CBS 2's Candace Cronin's live force in Panorama City has the latest on the investigation.
Several shell casings littered a nearby Denny's parking lot. Detectives believe the double murder is likely gang-related.
This area is predominantly known for gangs. We believe that one of the victims is gang-related based on some tattoos.
Yeah, I'm from Panorama City, and it's just a high drug trafficking, high crime rate type city, especially in the valley. And people that know like throughout the 818 throughout the city. You know what I'm saying? If you really in the streets, you know what we be doing. You know what type of time we be on. How do I think people view Los Angeles? For the most part, I think people view Los Angeles like the mecca of the gangbang culture, Bloods and Crips at least, you know. The valley and its reputation is going to depend on people and the information that they privileged to. So, like, people that know and been out in the 818, they going to know that it gets active, and they going to know that, you know what I'm saying, we might be a little more spread it out geographically for the most part, you know what I'm saying, but it's still the same thing. People dying and going to jail. Mothers sad, kids growing up without their parents. Well, obviously, a misconception about the valley is everybody thinks that it's watered down and it's not worthy of, you know what I'm saying, to be mentioned in certain topics. And of course, that's a major misconception. That's a lot of people that didn't came from over the hill down our way and didn't make it back because they had our streets, you know what I'm saying, effed up, you know what I'm saying, for lack of better terms. I want everybody to know, man, if you come out here playing, you might not make it back home. Do not have it twisted. And that's not just for my valley. That's for all these little cities that you think that it's not hard. Go out there with the wrong attitude, you might not make it back home.
A car slammed into a Panorama City Wendy's after a shooting between two cars. A driver was hit and then drove the car right into the restaurant.
Good evening. There's a large vigil here in Panorama City after a man was shot and killed here outside of the Valley Indoor Swap Meet. The details are very limited at this time, but we do know that several people were injured in a shooting and one man in his 30s died from his injuries.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Such a serious shooting that police are investigating. And as you mentioned, we have some brand new information from police. They say that the suspect was driving alongside the victim here on Van Nuys Boulevard, fired once, striking the driver, a 21-year-old woman, in the side of the head.
LAPD is searching for a killer after a Christmas night shooting in Panorama City.
This breaking news out of Panorama City, where there's been a deadly shooting at a 7-Eleven store.
We are looking here at Panorama City, where we are hearing that there has been a crash and a shooting.
You see LAPD and a big investigation. 5 injuries here. It's all clear if all 5 are from the shooting because we had heard there was also a crash. Now, I don't want to zoom in too much, but you see that white sheet. That means someone has died of their injuries here. We believe of gunshot wounds.
Growing up in Panorama City, man, it was like it was a group of us, you know what I'm saying? We walked around, we got in trouble, we rode on walls, we jumped, you know what I'm saying, opponents, we got jumped, we chased, we got chased, you know what I'm saying? It was fun though, man. It was definitely fun growing up, you know what I'm saying, just in the valley period, but you know what I'm saying, ain't nothing like Panorama City when it comes to the way the apartments is just bunched up on each other and you got endless counts of of females and things to get into. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. It was a beautiful experience. Now I most definitely think that we underrated our neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods around us are a little underrated in comparisons to some of the neighborhoods in the city. That's only to people that don't know, that ain't been. You know what I mean? Because I done had people come from the city to come hang out in our section and had a guard up like, oh my god, like it's all these essays right here, it's all that, and they can feel the pressure because they never experienced that. So if I was to compare banging in the valley to banging in South Central, I would say talk to the little kids growing up without their daddies, and talk to the moms that lost their kids, you know what I'm saying, to gun violence, to gang wars, and tell them that it's not the same.
And I have to give the homies this credit of us even becoming Bloods, because we didn't really get no outside. I don't feel like we had no outside influence by another blood gang that make us become Bloods. To me, the influence came from these the three people that called the phone. I'm over at the house with me, my homie, Tiny Bad News, and my homie and my homegirl Peso. We all over there, we kicking it. They called Peso phone. This the homie Low B, the homie Lil Bad News, and it was a homie from E-Dub on the phone. All three of these is in the county jail at this time. So they called the phone, they like, this is Bloods, this is what we own. This is what we doing. The homies should need to get on this, you feel me? We picking aside this Bloods, this what we pushing. You feel what I'm saying? This what the homies came with while they were sitting in the county jail. They felt like they needed to pick a side, so this is what they chose. They like, we Bloods. So this what it is. And then you had an older homie, which I say Big Rock. He the one who made it like officially on the street, that made it this is what it is. Where he snatched up a gang of young homies like, bro, this is what we pushing, this Bloods, and this is what it is. Everybody, this is what it is. There ain't gonna be no nigga talk about a Crip from Liggett Street, none of that. We Bloods.
Okay.
You feel me? So I had to say 2003.
I really gang bang chains, hang baby through that thing, trooping at the park like some badass babies. I'm in the hood, I wouldn't worry about what mom say. I'm off Sherman and Worcester trying to take a biscuit head away. I rap now, I guess it's time to try to hide things. Fuck a drive by, we out the whip screaming ball game. LSB to the G, I keep it gangster, free the homies out the cell, nigga, now I'm not later.
Me and my homie B-Mac, childhood friend, you know what I'm saying, going to school together, living with him, and just dealing with him. One day I told him like, man, I'm trying to get put on the set. He kind of thought I was playing. He realized I was serious and shoot. Took me to the block. I went right to the 8 Bigs and got put on, and the rest was history. No, I wouldn't say we more diverse than anybody. Everywhere, you know, you got gang members from different ethnicities that's with Mexican gangs or with black gangs. That's just regular, you know what I'm saying? Throughout the whole valley, yeah, it's a little more diverse. We got Armenians and Persians and all type of stuff out here. We got a couple, shout out to my homie Stone. We got a couple homies of different races, you know what I'm saying? The homie White Boy. It's a few, it ain't too many though. I don't think that my story was any harder or difficult because of my ethnicity. I might have got into a few extra little conflicts with people having it twisted, you feel me? But for the most part, it was regular, real regular for me. Yeah, I got an uncle from BVN, from Barrio Van Nuys, and he wasn't feeling me being from a black gang naturally, you know what I'm saying? He felt like I should have stuck to my roots, and he even attempted to take me over there and start having me function with his homies and shit. And I didn't know that's what he was trying to do until he took me over there and we was around him, and he like basically like introduced me like, yes, my nephew, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be coming through here and pulling up and fucking with the homies when he get out of school. And they were all like, oh, what's up? Nice to meet you. And I'm looking at them like, Blood, y'all will never see me again. Like, told them where I was from. Like, I'm from Liggett Street. They were kind of tripping like, oh, you already gangbang? And kind of looking at my uncle like, damn, you must have didn't know this. And he knew. He just was hoping that I would transform and come home, so to speak. You know what I mean? But shit, it wasn't none of that. I was already full-fledged L gang banging, and it wasn't nothing I was gonna ever be from nothing else besides Liggett Street after that. straight up. And yeah, that's just how I went. And one time when I was in juvenile hall getting tried as an adult, coming back from court, I got banged on by SA. I can't remember what flats he was from, but I for sure know it wasn't T Flats in Compton. It was a different flats, but I for sure from a flats hood. And he he got the trip on the county bus like, oh, you with the blacks, like you a disgrace to my race and woo, woo. And so the homies hurry, man, we got to whip him back and they had us separated. So when we got back to the juvenile hall, they keep us shackled on our waists and shit until we get to our units. So we didn't have no action at full-fledged meleeing. So we had a kick out. Yeah. We started kicking the shit out of each other. I ran up on him, kicked him. The homie booted him. One of his homies jumped up and helped him. And we started kicking the shit out of each other in juvenile hall, Stillmore compound. Must have been in between 2006 and 2007. When I first got to the yard in 2008, I walked outside and I swear the birds stopped chirping, the flies stopped flying, the bees stopped buzzing, everything just stopped and looked at me. And the white boys and the Hispanics was both had their faces twisted up, but nothing came of it, but they definitely was looking. I've been doing time since back then. I always kept it B thing, you know what I'm saying? Damu card, you know what I'm saying? That's why I house with, that's why I program with. It's gonna be Bloods every time. Nothing but it. Bloods, and only the Bloods. In this racist penal system that I grew up in, basically I just knew I had extra targets on my back. If something was to crack, know that you got a few more soldiers coming your way to try to holler at you, because when they looking across the yard and they see you, they thinking, yeah, if it crack, yeah, definitely get at him. And that's just come with the territory. Yeah, most of all the brothers, you know what I'm saying, was accepting of me and brought me in with open arms. You had a few that probably looked and felt some type of way, but they didn't have no legs to stand on, so it is what it is. So the Woods and the Mexicans, see the Woods trip harder, to be honest with you. So when I was in Sitnella, they pushed up on the tables and like inquired like, hey, what's up with him? And the homie like, man, that's the homie. He Mexican and white, but he run with us. He a blood. If it's a problem, like, what's up? And then they looked at him, they looked at me, and then they was like, oh, he Mexican and white? And like, yeah. And one of them was like, oh, well, we ain't tripping if he's mixed, like, you know what I'm saying? But if he was a straight white boy, then you know what I'm saying, I guess they would have felt a little more disrespected or probably, well, their politics were back then, they couldn't program with white Bloods and Crips, so they would have had to get the yard cracking. It's crazy because my most memorable rare breed I ever ran into was A-Ball from Park Village, and we were leaving Wasco, going out of state, getting transferred out of state, and when we got to the out of state prison and got off orientation, we weren't in the dorm. I mean, not the dorm. We weren't in the pods for nothing but maybe 5-10 minutes before a riot kicked off because of him. You know what I'm saying? The SAs was tripping on him, told the blacks he had to go. We took that as a sign of disrespect. And shout outs to Knuckles from Nine Deuce Hoover for pressing play first. And yeah, we got it cracking and did our two-step for that situation. So I've been in the riot behind a rare breed, but it was behind the homie A-Ball from Park Village. And yeah, that was that. Yeah, so I got to Wasco reception, I remember in 2008, and I ran into Ghost, a white boy from Project Crip in Bakersfield, 11th Street, I believe. He was East Side nigga. And he was my neighbor, him and T-Loke or something Loke. A Mexican, happened to be a Mexican from the same neighborhood. He was a Project Crip too. And so we was all right there together. So they was lacing me. They were a little older. They were lacing me too, like about the trials and tribulations. It was probably gonna come with being a rare breed. And in the sense of them lacing me up, they ended up stabbing Ghost. I remember the Woods stabbed Ghost when he was in the showers because the police did some janky stuff. and pop the doors on, let some woods out. My ghost was in the shower and the woods ran down there with some knives, and ghost held it down though he defended and handled his business. And I myself, like I said, I've been in riots for the homies from Park Village and certain stuff, but I myself, they always look at me and just stare and have a problem. They don't really, you can tell they don't really like it. But it was never nothing like, I never been in a real melee or no issues really too much about it like that with other races. It was always somebody else that was around me that was probably another race that caused the problem for some type of reason. I don't have any regrets with the tribe that I chose and the people that I come from. I wouldn't have it any other way. I do have some regrets and wish that I would have stayed in school and took my education more serious and being one of the people that could get it together sooner than later. But hey, everybody's story is different, right? My advice to the young homies out there would be study. You know what I'm saying? Study. Learn about cryptocurrency. Learn about app developments. This is the future. You know what I'm saying? Do not. If you ain't already in it, don't make no conscious choice to go join the gang and mess your life up. However, if you do make that choice, dedicate yourself, push it to the fullest. Never make a statement. Always use your right to remain silent and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it bloody for the B team. Do not go out backwards. I just want to shout out to all the down moves up and down the coast, from up north all the way to Dago, from Sacramento to Dago, man. Civil business to all the B team members, you know what I'm saying? Free all the real ones, keep the rest. You already know how that go. Yeah, that. Shout out Real Brief for doing this interview, and y'all have a blessed day, everybody.
Ryan Little.
Rare Breed unfortunately doesn't make any money off these videos. Any and every tip is appreciated. Thank you.